Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How is everyone this evening? So yeah, guys, the purpose of this live stream is it's been 1 year since we went into a national lockdown. The whole remit of this is to share stories. If you know anyone that has had the COVID, the symptoms, but have managed to get through it. So if you've got any stories you wish to share about this, let me know, everyone. I'll give it until 9:05, everyone, to tune in. I'll give it till about maybe 9:10, see how many audiences will tune into this special. I did advertise this. I didn't advertise on my website. I don't know whether that would prevent people from attending this live episode. So anyone, if you want to tell me your stories or what description, just let me know, because it is a coronavirus special. The reason why I've done this is because it's been 1 year since we all went into a national restriction. I will show some clips of this during the show as well. So let me know, everyone, if you want to participate in this, because it's a good opportunity. Tune in, everyone. Thank you, Rob. Thank you very much. If you've got any stories about the COVID, or if you know anyone that had any symptoms or anything, tell me your stories. I'll be delighted to hear them. Because that's the whole remit of today's show. It's a one-off special, because it's been 1 year since the actual original lockdown started in the UK. So I'm doing this as a way to collaborate the ones that we have lost, sadly, to this awful virus. So if you've got any stories or anything like to share in today's one-off special, please do use this time to tell me your stories. I would be delighted to hear them. That's today's show. However, tomorrow night, everyone, we have got our weekly mental health show. We got Jeff, and we've got other people on the lineup tomorrow night, so you don't want to miss that either. I don't believe in coronavirus, do you? I do believe in the coronavirus. It is one of the viruses that is existed, or that is still existing. So yeah, I do believe in it. Simply because it is a virus, and it's been heavily supported on the media and anything like that. So, 100%, I do believe in it, because it's taken so many lives. It's not something we should say, oh, it's only 5,000, it's only 10,000, but that number is people that haven't got a family member. No matter how you look at it in numbers or in any reason at all. 5,000 people in that 5,000 might not have a husband, might not have a wife, might not have a son or a daughter or anything like that. So it is quite horrific on how this virus taken so many people's lives in the year it existed. The coronavirus is greatly exaggerated. Definitely doesn't kill 150,000. Well, to be honest, there, Rob, people will have different versions and opinions. The media, you might have a point there. You might have a statistical point, because they might, give you false numbers. But whereas the actual basic line of it is, the coronavirus isn't just fake, because it has claimed so many people's lives across the globe and everything like that. So it is a virus, and it has existed. If the people who has died and the numbers about it doesn't exactly matter, because people have died to this virus. So people will say different things, different statistics, um, but that's not excuse the main sentence, the main baseline. Coronavirus is real. It's claimed so many people's lives, and so many people across the globe haven't got a family member or anything that's related to them because the virus has sadly claimed it. And we should use today really as to honour the ones that we haven't sadly have here, because this virus came and took the innocent people, and we should use today as a way to remember them, because we're still standing here with our lives to leave, to live, and other people haven't got that chance. So we should be extremely grateful of where we are today with how many people has arrived and gone through this, compared to others who are sadly not with us. Um, um, well, I have seen some reports on that, if I'm honest, so I can only take a word for that. I can only take maybe 5 or 6 people's words for that. I don't know whether that's, around the globe true, but some reports have reported as that. Maybe they have exaggerated the numbers. Maybe it has. But as I said, it's important not to excuse um, the reasons of this virus. Boris can have this from me. Thanks for your opinion there, Rob. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, like I said to everyone watching this, we should all honour the ones that isn't with us today. I could tell you something as well. My top best mates have had the symptoms, and it is horrific. The worst thing that they could ever go through. Um, so they have been through it. They had the symptoms, and they were really bad from it. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. But one of my best mates, it was quite horrific for them. It was quite horrific for him in general. And that's the thing with the virus. You don't know what the circumstance of it is. You don't know how it will impact you because different people, different thing. So you can't say statistically or nationally. You can have a whole set of symptoms. People might have 3 or 4 of them symptoms, but they could be really, really ill. Um, so, it's kind of the pandemic will continue to abolish the sort of power. They will keep coming how with ideas to keep us in it. Well, as I think we could all agree on one thing there, the politicians are corrupt. They are corrupt, and we all know that across the globe. We definitely know that. We don't. People would agree on that sentence because we have seen it with our own eyes. Dominic Cummings leaving to test his eyesight. We've had not Mark Rayford himself, but we had our Welsh Conservatives drinking in a Welsh building in the South. We get loads of corruption. And if it's not just police corruption, we get in our own Labour Party and our own Conservatives. So it is quite childish, considering that they should be acting within the boundaries of what they set out for us, which is the most frustrating thing of them all. If it's that important and they break the rules in front of us, it's a kick in the teeth for people who are. And I was offered the vaccine 2 weeks ago and I refused. I would not have it put into me. Well, that is your personal choice there, Rob, but you got to think of it statistically. The virus was put out there to keep people's lives protected or give you that added boost to make your lives protected. If you refuse that, you could be at risk. You could be at risk because, or other people, you could be at risk. They don't put a vaccine out that fast if it wasn't important, you see. So you've got to remember that. The vaccine is important. We've seen politicians having it. Boris Johnson is one of them, as you might have seen on Instagram post. I think I could find it to show you. Um, but yeah, we have to have the virus. I think we have to have the virus injection, not the virus injection. Do excuse me what I just said. Then we have to have the injection, the virus vaccine. That's it. My words mixed up for a second. We have to have the virus vaccine because it would keep us at safe length, and it would prolong our lives because we've got to live our lives to the way we want to, and we can't have the virus get in the hands of it when we could have the vaccine and keeping us all safe. Um, so it's extremely is important. If you have the vaccine, I suggest you take the vaccine because you're then protected, and then it's on a slow road to leaving our normal lives. So if you have been offered the vaccine, as what Boris Johnson normally would say, and anyone in the politician library, just take the vaccine because it will save your life and it will save other people's. Don't put yourself in harm's way when you can be protected. So yeah, as you can see here, Boris Johnson have had the injection. I don't know whether you can see that because it's my green screen. Um, but, but yeah, as you can see, had the injection. So it's important. It's important to have it for that very reason. I'll just show you another one. I think Matt Hancock had his injection. And everyone around the globe have had their injections over the last couple of months and couple of weeks. So it's incredibly important to have it. Vaccine doesn't stop the spread. I understand that, but it saves your lives. You see, it saves your lives, and don't put yourself at risk from that. I really don't want you to put yourself at risk. When all you could have is just a simple 5-second vaccine. If people choose to have it and choose not to have it, but you got to think of it in this manner. If you don't have the vaccine, you're putting yourself and you're putting everything at risk. Whereas if you take the vaccine, you're helping the government and everyone in it to open everything back up and to not have a third wave. Because if you don't have the vaccine, it'll be back to how it was again. Because if everywhere, say 50% had the no vaccine jab, if they didn't have it 50% across the globe, that 50% could spread it across everywhere, bring it back, and have it 3 times deadlier than it was the first. So it's incredibly important to take that vaccine. I mean, they wouldn't fast track it if it would have no importance. You know what I mean? Let's read some comments. I'm not having no vaccine as other countries have found out to see it being tested for long term. They've only tested it short term, so it's not actually fully safe. Well, some people might have a controversial statement to that because it'd have to get verified by the WHO, and if it doesn't get passed or verified, it won't be in this country. It only can be in this country if it's been fully tested and that sort of thing. They can't put a vaccine in you if they had no meaning. Like I don't know, like the flu shot. The flu shot was designed to help you not get the flu, so you could distinguish whether it was a flu or a coronavirus that you could have had. So the flu shot and the COVID vaccine, you have to have it because, like I said before, you're in harm's way if you don't. You're at twice more risk than you were when the vaccine could be implanted in your body. So this really is an important thing to do. It helps the community, it helps who you bother with, and it just helps people, safer wise. Oh, Oh, hello. Hi, Frank. How are you? I'm doing great. How about yourself? I'm just doing a one-off coronavirus special this evening because this time last year was when we went through national lockdown. So I'm doing a special now, 1 year later. Um, to tell you stories if you know someone that had the symptoms or had pulled through it. If you want to tell someone, or tell me, sorry, that if you had a sad story and your family members didn't make it, I'm awfully I just sympathise with your situation. So if you want to disclose your stories to me, that's absolutely fine. I'm not having. Oh, I think I might have read that one. Um, yeah, what I'm saying is they haven't. I think I read that as well. Oh no, I haven't. So could start causing out problems with the countries of open up. So why ain't we? Um, it could start causing other people's health problems. It could. Um, but you gotta think of it in this light. If our country or you gotta think of it, different countries, different protocols. Um, I don't know whether that's the same really. It's just statistically, but in our country, um, if it was like that, I think Boris Johnson would have acted on it. He might be a bit slow at first, but he would put the brakes on and tell us how it is, as he did when he had to, no choicely, close everything down last year, which is the day last year he actually did it. If he did it 1 week earlier, as many people say from the controversial media statements, anything like that, it would have saved a lot more lives. But as you know, Boris Johnson is very, very slow to act, and this is what we are in. We are the UK highest death toll, which is alarming. It is very alarming. Where preventions could have been put in place to prevent it from reaching out to the number one. Um, I believe this COVID is terrible by not having an untested vaccine either. And other people do respect them if they do, but I will not have it. Yeah, well, it is a good thing if you do have it, but I know many people wouldn't, and that is their choice. But as I said to Robert, you're putting yourself in harm's way if you don't, and you don't really want to. If you want to risk it, then you're putting yourself through that horrid path where you could take something that would take 5 seconds and you could be safe from the symptoms, or most of the symptoms. Um, so it's incredibly important. If you are offered the vaccine, just take the vaccine. I know people might. I have interviewed some people this weekend or last weekend that's gone, and they believe in conspiracy theorists, and they are risk taker. It's fine if they are if if they believe in that, but if everyone follows the same lead, the vaccine wouldn't even work really. If you think of it like this: if 50% of people didn't have the vaccine, more viruses can come through, and those 50% that were unvaccinated the first time, they could spread that newly transmitted disease, and we could all be back to square one. So we don't really want to see that, but I do understand um, people's circumstances because they do know when it was shipped out. And I understand that, I really do. Um, but you've got to think of it like this: you couldn't really live with that pain if you didn't get the vaccine. But then if you didn't get the vaccine, but then you spread another sort of type of virus, you couldn't live with that horrid guilt that knowing a little vaccine prevented that person from getting something that's contagious from you. That makes sense. I don't know whether I explained that correctly. Um, from here, but you shouldn't be encouraging people to have it on here. At the end of the day, it's a choice. Understand you think it's safe, but trust me, the vaccine has no guarantee of safety. Um, Well, maybe not there, Robert. Maybe not. But I'm just encouraging it for the basis of it. I understand people's choices, and they do have a choice whether they have it or not. But um, but you got to keep yourself safe. Um, we could be in it for a long while yet, and if most majority of the people don't have the virus, it will bring us into a worse situation. Um, all I'm doing really is just encouraging people um, that taking the vaccine is the safest option. It's the only option against the virus, and it's the only protection that we got to stop us getting the virus. I understand people's concerns. It's only been 3 months and it's all starting to ship. I understand people's concerns. I really do. Um, but you got to think of it. The virus wouldn't be here that quickly if it wasn't a national emergency. Because if they delayed it for a year or 8 years, we could have been in a whole lot of a worse circumstance right now. We could have had no pubs, no shops, no nothing open until about 2028. If people waited that long, I think there would be more than just protests happening. I think there'd be more protests happening. So, where people's controversial statements come in and said, "Oh, we should need to wait 8 years for it to be approved by a scientist because that's how long it is nationality," it is. But as I said to you just then, if we had to wait till 2028, we would be in this for 8 years and we wouldn't have any freedom. So 3 months, that really shows the need for that vaccine to be here um, to put us back on that path um, to where it once was. And that vaccine is the only way of doing it at the moment. Um, I understand what you're saying, but even if everyone did, it's not going to stop the pandemic. No, you are right again on that one. As I would have said to this, Boris Johnson should have closed the airports down, and yet again the airports are still opening. It is rather ridiculous. Um, but I do understand people's. Um, I do understand. I really do. Um, it's not going to stop it, and we're going to have more viruses in the country. I totally agree. I totally agree. But it's down to this government that has sort of went sort of off potty last year to bring us back to how it should be. Tell us how it is, reinstate more measures to just protect our country. Because if people came from all sorts of the countries, they don't know what they have prior to leaving the country. They don't know what they bring in back. Um, so it really is a kick in the teeth because the government hasn't closed the airports and we don't know what the country is bringing in. So it is worrying, very worrying. It's worrying now, 1 year later, because they still haven't closed the airports. I understand what Rob is saying. He means we have no evidence that the vaccine won't cause cancer in a few years because they didn't test it for 3 years at least. At least they rushed it. Yeah, they might have rushed it. But they rushed it because it's an emergency. It's an emergency to get it out here. If they didn't rush it, as I said to you, if we wait 8 years, we would have been 8 years in quarantine. So if you think of it in this sort of light, 4 months just to save 50% or 100 within the next couple of weeks or months, the the government is trying to stop us having the virus. He is really trying, and the vaccine is the only source of prevention we got against getting it. If the vaccine wasn't here, well, we just wouldn't have any progress. We wouldn't have any progress at all. But I understand people. I understand people will have controversial opinions to this topic. I really do. But that's the whole part of having a debate. It's having a debate because you're voicing your opinions, I'm voicing mine. That's how it is. That's how we call it a democracy. Um, so, yeah, I do understand people's concerns. I think I might have read that one. They have already advised certain people not to have it if they already have health problems. They already make this vaccine look dangerous. Maybe. All I can say to that is it may be a little bit off-putting for some people. Um, yeah, I don't know whether I can comment any further on that. I don't think the vaccine can bring on any more problems than it would. But I'm not a nurse, I'm not a scientist, so I can't really speak on behalf of them. But I understand it can be off-putting for people. I totally get that. I really do. Don't know whether I can make a comment. I don't know whether I can make a comment further on that statement. They don't care about us. They just like pretend to. Well, Frank, that's the only statement I could literally 75% agree to. Because as we saw across our country, government ministers were really, really breaking the rules on purpose. So that statement, ironically, is an agreeable one. It is agreeable. Take Dominic Cummings and everyone that's broken the rules last year. They literally took us for a boy walk in the park sort of thing, because they're telling us to stay in, and then you've got them happily merry in the streets or happily having a pint of Guinness when they told us we shouldn't be having it and all this sort of thing. So there's one rule for them and one rule for us. I understand people's frustrations. Yeah, it was kind of eye-watering to even see that in front of us. These rules have gone more corrupt since abusing their powers. That I can agree with, because there is a lot of YouTube clips that demonstrates police asking for why you're exempt on face masks early on in the pandemic. But certain officers, though, certain boroughs does make the force look bad. I do understand that, and it's understandable because why is police officers going around doing crimes? When they should be serving our community. So, that is kind of a kick in the teeth of the force as well, because no police officer should commit that nasty crime. They have no right to, and they shouldn't. They serve in the community, and they not. It is just a shock. It is a shock. But on the front of abusing their powers, I agree with that. I've seen loads of YouTube clips that has backed that up. So if I had sort of took your view on this, it would have been a bit more of a controversial. But I understand that they do abuse powers. I really do. 8 men got the most. Did you see him pretend to cry on TV? I don't know if that was today. I haven't seen the news today, but I will sure catch up on that. That's 100% guaranteed. Well, what I will show you is this, everyone. It's a little clip from Channel 4, and this I think this is this man. I think, yeah. So he's spent 2 seconds. So he spent 96 days in an ICU department in a hospital. So I want to show you guys this clip. Let me know what your thoughts of it is. Again, this is a debate, so I do know I would understand people would have different opinions. I wouldn't do this episode if I would have didn't knew that. So just watch this clip, everyone watching, and just let me know what your thoughts of it is. Here we go.
There's been many stories of survival against the odds during this pandemic, but few which span a stint in intensive care lasting 96 days.
Can I hear your voice?
Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
At Cardiff's University Hospital of Wales yesterday, finally, they moved Steve Jones from the intensive care unit to this step-down ward.
How long have you been in there?
In here?
Yeah.
97 days.
Oh, wow.
97 days since this 59-year-old window fitter from Barry arrived in hospital with COVID. Memories of that moment which he filmed and much thereafter now lost.
What impact does not being able to remember those 2 months have on how you're dealing with this now?
I don't know, it's just a strange feeling, you know. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But it's had an impact, you know.
Lung damage, kidney failure, blood clots. The impact so severe, he needed ventilation for 83 days. Steve Jones was on a ventilator when we first filmed him 7 weeks ago, out of sedation into a fog of delirium, now unable to recall some images, others too indelible to forget. Very few COVID patients in the UK have spent so long in critical care.
Down there, just them walls. Oh, it was awful. Stuck in a room for 3 months in a bed. I've seen people pass in the, you know, in the same room, just scared. You know, you're lying there thinking, am I the next one, you know?
When we talk of his family, it becomes overwhelming. By his side are some of his critical care rehab team, Gemma Jones and Megan Lewis, constant voices of reassurance, as they were in May when we filmed them fitting Steve with a speech valve.
It's really lovely to hear your voice. It's really strong.
Now sharing with him this glimpse into the progress he's made.
Where was my brain when all this was going on? Must have been somewhere else because I can't remember any of that. I'm out of it, aren't I?
We always bond with our patients, and it's really important to have that kind of therapeutic relationship. But again, in the absence of family members, in a crazy time for us all professionally, people like Steve have kept us all going. And the reason we do our job is for people like Steve, and kind of it's been really nice to see his progress so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Steve Jones has emerged from critical care after more than 3 months of profound change around him, and in a very significant week for the NHS in Wales.
Monday was the first day since lockdown that no new deaths were reported by Public Health Wales, a major milestone, said the Welsh Government, which today found itself criticised in a parliamentary report for too slow a response to the pandemic. A pandemic which leaves a previously fit and active Steve Jones, now 4 stone lighter, barely able to walk.
You can.
All of that.
And along with many of the more than 200 COVID patients in Wales who've left intensive care alive, needing extensive rehabilitation.
I think sometimes it takes coming off intensive care and onto the wards and speaking to someone like yourselves where it all maybe sink in. And I think speaking about family and remembering their lives before this 100 days is just a big thing for the patients. I think that's when they realise it maybe hits them how things have changed and the journey they have in front of them.
Steve, what are you looking forward to most?
Pint of Strongbow and a nice T-bone steak. I'll do for starters. And see my family, you know. Be home with my missus, kids, and
That'll be quite a moment going home.
A few more weeks to go, but Steve Jones is almost home.
Well, as Andy mentioned there, a report by the Welsh Parliament's Health Committee has said there were serious weaknesses in the Welsh Government's response to coronavirus.
So as you can see on that clip there, everyone, that there was a man severely ill from that virus, and he survived from it. After 96 days in ICU, he got through that virus. So it's great, and joyful that people that would have the virus are getting over the symptoms and going back to leading their normal lives. So it really is happy times when someone really pulls through that horrific virus, as we've just seen on that footage there. So in a few minutes, everyone, I will be ending this live stream, but it's been fabulous to see your opinions tonight. If I see you again, it will be tomorrow night for our mental health awareness show. So those who want to, comment anything in tomorrow's show or anything, you're more than welcome to do that. Thursdays, we've got Steel City, and Fridays we've got Showscape, and Saturdays and Sundays we've got interviews. To find out the details, everyone, just head over to my website, details on your screen right now, questpulse.net for details. Or if you want to buy some merchandise off me, you can go to questmerch.biz and you'll get the catalogue there. Or if you want to find out for Friday's show, head over to showscapers.com. Or if you want to find out, go to xxuk.co.uk. Those are the websites there, and they're all on the screens. So do give that a check. Let's read some comments. Some people will get ill, but not a lot will. Maybe you could be right there. I'm not saying you're fully wrong at all. As I said at the start of the show, when the show started, you can't predict people. Some people will get it higher up on the scale, and some people won't. So you can't predict the situations every single time. But I'm not saying you're fully wrong, though. I'm not saying that at all. But I would say you're half right and half wrong. So I sort of agree and I sort of disagree, because you can't predict people's situations. So yeah, people. So as I said, thank you to Rob and thank you to Frank who have tuned in this evening. It's been a joy to have this debate. I'm sure I won't be answering it much either. We could use the case even if you're trying to do it. No worries there, Rob. You can always DM me though if you wish. That's absolutely no worries at all. So yeah, any other questions, people? Let me know in the comments. I'll be here till about 9:45, and then I'll be signing off tonight, everyone. But it's been fab to have this debate, and to those who have lost a loved one without this virus, my hearts go out to them. This is a day to remember. It is 1 full year since it originally began last year. So it's a time really to reflect on who's around you, and make the times valuable with your family and friends, because as I said, you can't predict the future. Live it to the fullest. Live it to the fullest, and treat every second as valuable as the first, because nobody can predict what the future will be. So it's important to don't waste time and value the time. It's very important. Debates are healthy for the mind. Yes, it certainly most definitely is. Most definitely. This is why I do mental health on a Wednesdays, because it gives people that outlet. It gives people that outlet, so then they could tell me their problems in a live chat. They can be as detailed as they wish. But if it's too personal, they can always DM me, or DM the Instagram pages or Twitter pages, and we get in touch that way. From April, I will set up a phone line where they can ring in. There is going to be more details on that in the next coming week, but that's upcoming as well, because I believe helping people with mental health is incredibly important, because of what we all been through for the last year. It's making everyone going bonkers, and we know what it's like. we all do across the globe. We all want to, live normal lives. So I really do understand people's frustrations. So yeah, I really do understand that. Might appear one day. Yeah. Rob, if you ever want to appear on my shows, all you gotta do is contact me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. The details are on my website, questpulse.net. You can find where I'm associated with on the social media side. But yeah, it would be great to have you on. It'd be great to have you on. If you want to come on to make an appearance for our mental health show, that's absolutely fine as well. Fridays are fine. Wednesdays, Fridays, as long as it's for mental health. On the Wednesdays, that's fine. Fridays, we can just talk about anything. So if that person ready to talk about all sorts of subjects and everything like that, I suggest being on the Fridays episode, because it is quite fun on a Friday. It really is. But yeah, coming up this weekend, I'll just tell you briefly who is coming up. We've got Ghostman Investigators. I'm actually quite skeptical because I haven't had a reply off Ghostman Investigators, so I don't know whether that's going to plan as it should. But we've got SS3 Paranormal this weekend. We've got loads of things. I've already appeared. Yes, I know you did go to the Wales. I know. I will have you back on as well one day. I definitely will. I will get in touch with you. But it was great to have you on. It was very good. Thanks for appearing as well. But yeah, any other last minute questions, people? Let me know in the comments below, and I will respond to your questions. So any last minute questions or comments now, everyone? Put them in the comments field below, and I will be signing off in just a jiffy. Well, it's been fun to have the debate with you, everyone. But I'm going to sign off now. But thank you to all that's watched. Back on with more shows now coming up this week. So do subscribe, do show some love, and yeah, I'll see you on the next live stream. Have a great week, have a great evening, and stay strong because there is light at the end of the tunnel.